Good morning. Thank you for joining us. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Morning, everybody.
Great. Should we get started?
Yep. Let's dive in. Take it away, Greg.
Yeah. Well, good morning. As you already know, I'm Yuri Calderon, your new executive director. And with us this morning is Taylor Smith and Norma Stevens and Christina Chavez from SSDA, our SSDA staff, and George Shiraki, who is our outgoing interim executive director. So good morning, everybody. It's great to have you guys with us, and great to see you actively involved in SSDA. I just wanted to kick off the meeting with just a little bit of talking about kind of the direction of the association. We're have worked very hard. George has done an amazing work in some restructuring of the association, as you know. We've been working hard to develop an associate structure that works long-term for the association, to build our and change our membership structure as well, so that we have some stability in the association and some long-term growth for the association. And so some of these things you've noticed, I know that there have been quite a bit of feedback and a lot of involvement by our associate members and our district members in that process. One of the main changes that you probably are very aware about is the kind of our fiscal year and our membership year. We have adjusted our membership year to run consistent with our fiscal year, which is July 1 through June 30th. So you will be receiving invoices and just a request to continue as an associate member in the coming year. And that will be kind of the kickoff. We have our July conference, with which Taylor will speak a little bit about, but we're looking forward to having you all there, right, to be a part of that conference and to participate with our new superintendents, our high school leaders, and our veteran superintendents, which will be teaming up with the new superintendents to help them transition into their new role at their school districts. And so that is something that we're very much looking forward to. Part of those changes, I think you'll also see, is that there's going to be a push to do regional conferences throughout the state, so that we can target and involve some of our districts that are in the remote areas, right, in Northern California, Southern California, the Imperial Valley, in the desert, and in the Sierras. And so I'm looking forward to seeing some of you step up and participate with us in those regional conferences. They're going to be a little bit of a mix of substantive material and information, presentations, and then we'll have some networking and some socializing that will be a part of that. Some of them will be longer. There'll be a day or 2-day type affairs, and others will be just an evening type thing. And that will be designed and developed around the unique needs of each of the regions and the unique participation of our regional representatives. We'll be leading those in-house. Christina, Norma, myself, Taylor, will all be working together to put those together. So we look forward to your participation in those regional conferences. We also want to continue our what we're calling, I guess, an associate roundtable, these video conference calls where we can receive feedback from you, ideas. We can share information about what the association is doing, what our tasks are, what our various efforts are, particularly in Sacramento with respect to our legislative platform, our agenda, to better and improve conditions for our small school districts that sometimes get left out of the thought process when Sacramento designs bills or new initiatives that are designed around urban large school districts or problems that urban large school districts are facing. And so we've seen a lot of that in the last couple of years. One of the big efforts that we're pushing is to try to reduce the obligation of small school districts to have to write so many plans. We started during COVID with the pandemic, right? And we were told we were going to be relieved of the obligation to write plans, and they added several, if not literally 10, 20 plans to a superintendent's plate to have to write throughout the year. And most of our districts, the superintendent is also the principal and also the individual that cleans the pool or does drives the bus. And so having to put together so many plans has been a very challenging endeavor for our superintendent. So that's one of our big legislative platforms. Sacramento's added 2 or 3 additional requirements on the LCAP and on a couple different additional plans that we've had to write just in the last couple months that has been very challenging for our small school districts. I know that may not be as relevant to what you do on your daily lives, but you know that when you're calling into a school district to connect with a superintendent or staff about a particular matter and they're tied up, it's sucking time from them being focused on curriculum, being focused on the educational program. And so what we want to do is try to free up staff to be more focused on the types of things that you guys are interested in and helping our school districts in their different efforts. So I'll just open up the floor. If anybody has questions about what I'm doing, I started this week as the executive director for SSDA. And I have a little bit of a ramp up period this month, and then July 1, I will be full-time executive director, but it almost seems like I am already full-time given all the various different activities and endeavors that the association is involved in. It's an exciting time. I can tell you the association is growing. There's a solid foundation of growth, and we're representing more and more school districts. Our membership structure that George kicked off, where we have leaned on the county offices of ed to help us corral in school districts, is reaping benefits already. We have new school district members, and all these are members that will be able to serve with the incredible services that not only the association provides, but as does our associate members, so that you can reach all the far regions of our state. So I'll open up the floor if you want to just unmute yourself or throw something into the chat, and then I'll toss it over to Taylor, who will give us some information about the upcoming conferences. We've done a little bit of switch. We have started a CBO conference. We started it 2 years ago. This will be our 3rd conference. We're expanding that platform a little bit. We're going to a business office and executive leadership conference. So there will be, we're tying in an HR component, an executive assistant, school office manager, and our fiscal and business office that will be providing material and information for our different members that will be participating. That will also be an opportunity for associate members to participate in that and interact with our business offices, our executive assistants, and our HR professionals, which oftentimes are being done by the same people, right? So that's a great opportunity. That is in October. I believe it's in the chat. Taylor put it in the chat. Great opportunity to bring people together from all over the state and to give you, our associate members, some access to some of the folks in a more relaxed environment where we can interact with folks as they are learning. Or for you guys to present information and material alongside with our school districts about some of the great things that you're doing and some of the success stories that you're seeing. So you'll know I'm a lawyer by training. So you give me a platform, I can just keep going and talking. So I'm going to shut up now, and I'll give you guys an opportunity to chime in, ask questions of any of us, any of our staff members, and please.
So thank you, Yuri. I appreciate the legislative efforts to remove some of the time suck. We deal in the realm of academics and student improvement, and which is one of the key things that people need to be able to work on. They need time to be able to do it. And so while it's not directly related to what we do, to be able to free up people to look at solutions that are going to get them closer to the kids and making a difference is very, very important as a byproduct. So kudos there. Keep working on that front. Get the time back.
It's amazing how much the legislature is adding on, and some of the crazy ideas. And one of this school bus, the electric school bus initiative, has a huge impact on small and rural school districts or mountainous areas, where we're going to be mandated to have electric buses, even though the technology just isn't quite there to be able to use an electric bus effectively in some of our rural communities. So these are all things that are important, are relevant. I know, and a time suck, right?
Yep.
Fantastic. Well,
I'll just say,
go ahead, Craig.
I'll say congratulations, welcome aboard officially. Just two, I guess, questions. Number one, are you going to be located in Sacramento, or are you going to be still down in Santa Barbara? And then the second one is just going to be, please let us know, and this might be more toward Taylor, with that CBO class symposium, whatever what the name will be in October. Just be curious if there's any opportunities to speak. Obviously, from the EHNA, MGT team, most of our team is all retired CBOs, so just have a bunch of folks who would maybe potentially love to share good and bad stories of being a CBO. I don't know if it's a new CBOs, if it's geared toward them or existing CBOs, but obviously just if there any speaking engagements comes up with something like that, again, we have a team of folks who, again, boots on the ground type people. So.
Wonderful, Craig. We're putting that together now. So this is a great time to engage you on this, because it's a very open platform. What we found is that, the vast majority of our CBOs in our small school districts tend to have less experience than
right.
that are in the larger school districts. So any information, and we've gone from, a wide range of very basic 101 type information to fairly sophisticated, information about how the budget structure works and how, test 1, test 2, test 3 works. All of that is, the more we can educate our small CBOs is, the better. And so, yes, I encourage to engage you to join us in that effort. I will be located in Santa Barbara, but I will be spending a considerable amount of time in Sacramento. So right now the plan is to spend a week out of the month in Sacramento, and then a week out of the month traveling throughout the state, getting to know, my first 6 months, I plan to spend some time getting to know some of the school districts throughout the state, so that I can more accurately and more effectively represent them in Sacramento.
Very cool. Very good. Congratulations. Yeah, I think that class is great. When I was a CBO, I would have loved something like that you guys have upcoming. So
yeah, we're not quite at the point of where we can do a CBO certification, but ultimately, I think that would be a lofty and ideal place to achieve as a kind of a certification for small school CBOs. And that's something that'll take a little bit of time to build.
Yeah. And last thing I'll just share, firsthand, when I became a CBO, I was at a small, and I was able to go to a class, which was great. But I think there's a lot of times I'm sitting next to somebody who's got 10,000 kids, at their district, and the relevancy to somebody like me who is at a small, I think is huge. I think it, that angle really helps, I guess, is all I'm simply trying to say, because it's a lot different things you're dealing with when you're small, as you mentioned a few moments ago.
So can I just throw in an idea on that? Once training would be really helpful for superintendents who did not come through the business side, not understanding the nuts and bolts, but understanding the key questions you need to ask of your CBO so that you're not going to get yourself in trouble. Because I think a lot of soups don't have that background. They come out of the C&I side of the house. And so when I taught the Soups Academy, that's what I focused on. Here are the questions you need to ask your CBO. You don't need to crunch the numbers, but you need to know the questions to ask.
You're absolutely right, Jim, and I couldn't agree with you more. You know that one of the things that I have done at the conferences for, I think, the last 3 or 4 years is present a Budget 101 session that is really geared towards superintendents. And I think that's an extremely valuable skill to have as a superintendent, to be able to ask the right questions and know and understand how those budgets are built so that you know where the money sits, right?
I have like to chime in here, if you wouldn't mind. Congratulations, Yuri, again. No good deed goes unpunished. So, so there you go. So tagging along with what Craig and Jim said, you know, we have a lot of potential bond dollars coming up. We're hoping to see some statewide bonds showing, and we have individual bonds from various districts and lots of other funding opportunities towards the latter part of the year. And I think a workshop or seminar or something on various procurement avenues, ways to mitigate risk, compliance with public bid code, compliance with things like prevailing wage, public works, that sort of thing would be super helpful, because we are engaged with many smalls that the procurement side, the CBO and the superintendent just aren't sure how to procure, when they should procure, and what method they should procure. And there's so many, and there's so many ways, as many ways as there are districts. So anything that can help guide them on procurement pathways, I think would be help. Really, though, focusing on risk mitigation for the district, because a lot of folks get themselves in trouble without realizing that they're getting themselves in trouble. They have other vendors that try to take them down a path that they really shouldn't be going down. So
those are very good points. I am hopeful that when the new bond measure gets finalized, that we have some set aside, there's been some discussion about building into it a particular set aside for small school districts. I know that the state is working very hard, CDE has been working very hard to identify a person to be kind of like an ombudsman kind of person to support and assist small school districts in that process. So I think that's maybe that's a webinar series, Shay, that you could support us in putting together for our superintendents.
Yeah, would be happy to do that, and I'm sure that there are others like us that would be great to join from a panel perspective. But we can work with you folks on what that looks like. Thank you.
I'm sure Michael Riemann-Schneider, who's on the call, would also agree that he would be a good person to help with the finance part of it, the financial advisory part. I knew I could count on Michael. Wonderful. Excellent. We have initiated a new platform, which is an AMS. It's an associate management system. And I'm curious, I know many of you have registered or signed up for our conference. This is our first one. We're using the new system, and if there's any feedback on that, I would appreciate getting that. We're using a software called Wild Apricot, which is going to help us connect our membership database with our event programming piece. And it is a pretty robust system, and we're learning how to use it. I should say, I mean, anytime you start using a new piece of software. But I would encourage you to give us feedback and tell us, as it doesn't work, could be smoother. I think if you go from our website and you want to register, it should be seamless, but it takes you to the platform where the event registration is taking place. And I know Norma and Taylor would appreciate feedback on that as well. And you could do it privately with an email too, so works well. Are most of you attending our summer? I know it's a kind of a little bit of an odd time to do a conference, but it's a perfect time to catch new superintendents. You know, they get hired and they're starting July 1 and they're ready to hit the ground running, but they've never been a superintendent before. So this is an opportune time for us when we catch them a month before school starts, team them up with a veteran superintendent, and then give them some leadership and some substantive workshops to help them get the year started. So with that, Taylor, why don't I turn it over to you and any details that you want to provide?
Thanks, Yuri. Hello, everybody. I think I'm actually going to turn it over to Norma to share an update on where we're at with our sponsorship opportunities. We still have a couple of really good opportunities for engagement at the summer summit that include like short speaking opportunities. So I'm going to let Norma talk a little bit about how to get engaged at the summer summit.
Yes. Hi, everyone. I hope everyone's doing great. I realize it's Thursday today. I thought it was Wednesday, so that's a win for me. So yes, we have lots of sponsorships still available. If you are exhibiting, I highly recommend you select a menu for the booth crawl. This again is our attempts to bring people to drive traffic to your booths. We're doing something a little bit different this year. So if you do purchase food and beverage or beverage packages, we won't be actually having a bar. So the drinks will be what the attendees consume. So we won't be competing with a bar and your booth. So we're hoping to have no leftovers for those of you who've done the booth crawls with us in the past. So we're really, really trying to make sure we are, giving every exhibitor, great opportunities to network and mingle and get some really viable leads. So if you want more information on Booth Crawl, please feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to assist and help you out there. We also have some really high visible opportunities to become a Strand sponsor. As you all know, we have 3 strands: the veteran superintendents, new superintendents, and high school leaders strands. So this gives you a speaking opportunity to have a couple minutes on stage. At some point, we will connect you with the strand leads so you can so you are able to carve out a time to talk to those attendees in that strand. So high touch, high visibility sponsorship, which I know a lot of people, as from a lot of the feedback we've received, we want time to speak on about your company on stage. So this is a really great opportunity. Any other questions on that one, we're happy to share with you, or I'm happy to connect with you as well. We have an updated prospectus, or it should be updated today on the website as well. So if you're just kind of, I don't want to talk too much about every single one because we've crafted our sponsorships to ensure that you have high visibility and to make sure that we are praising you all on our website. Your logos are everywhere, so we want to make sure that so if you want to just take the time to look at those as well, I'm happy, please do so. Yeah, and I believe another great opportunity, and I'll end it with this one. It'll be the keynote sponsorship. We have one more keynote sponsorship available, so that's kind of a really great time to get in front of people as well. So it gives you an opportunity to have a couple minutes on stage in front of the whole event, all of our attendees, strand leads, and everything, to kind of talk about who you are, what you're doing, and then, kick off a great keynote. So those are really kind of just high level, quick overview of what we still have available. And so any questions on any of those, I'm happy to answer them. Send me an email, whatever you need. I'm here for you. All right. That's all I have, Taylor.
Awesome. And then Yuri already plugged the event really well, but I just wanted to call out one more time that the School Business and Administrative Leadership Symposium Save the Date is in the chat. So you can download that. It has the date and also the location, so you can start mentally preparing to head to San Jose in October to be a part of that conference. More information will come out soon about sponsorship and exhibiting and all that jazz. Alrighty. Does anybody have any questions, comments?
Have you sent out the selection of speakers yet?
We have not.
I thought I'd sent it out to people, but I will go back and make sure that I get everyone's communications out. So yeah.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I've seen that, Norma. So maybe we can push that out. That would be good. Yeah, that's in October 4th and 5th. And generally that is a good time for business officers to, it's kind of a little bit of a lull in the cycle of, you know, budget, actuals, first interim, second interim, all that craziness. So it's a good lull period for the CBOs, and we find that we have gotten excellent attendance. Taylor, I think at the last conference we had close to 70 people at that, 70 fiscal, and it's growing each year. The first year we started with 40. And so we're expecting probably closer to 150 this year. Because we're combining our executive assistants as well with that. Excellent. Well, I think we'll close with just asking, is there anything that any of you feel that we could do better in terms of communicating with you as associate members, or better in serving you and providing you with what you need to connect with school districts?
I think you guys are doing a great job so far.
Thank you,
Keep
Greg.
it up. Good work.
Same.
Great. Mhm.
Excellent.
I would echo that. Yeah, we really appreciate, just every opportunity we have with this group to get information out to all the members.
Excellent. Well, very good. So I look forward to seeing you all in July in person and spending a little time chatting with you about what you do, so that as I'm traveling around the state and hearing about what people's needs are, I can help make the connections between you, your services, your service staff, and those people around the state that are needing support. So I look forward to that. Wonderful. Well, thank you all. I'd like to keep these things short. There's nothing worse than being on a Zoom meeting for hours, right? For extended periods of time. I don't know, our attention spans weren't built for that. But I do appreciate you guys being a part of this and joining us to do these, and we'll be very respectful of your time and try to provide you with the information you need as you participate with us throughout the year. So thank you, and have a wonderful, I know all of our districts are wrapping up the year, so this is an exciting time for everybody. Promotions, graduations, it is, and it's exciting to see the kids. So enjoy this season and enjoy the summer, and I look forward to seeing you in July. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you all.